Hello there, it is your favorite half Persian, half college educated comedian. Just recently, a teacher for AP government classes, these are college level classes given to high school students during their junior or senior year, has been caught on hidden camera admitting that he and his fellow teachers force radical left-wing and communist ideas on the students in order to get extra credit and graduate.
Incredibly ugly behavior come out of this city.
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you
Scare the fuck out of them.
Meet Gabriel Geit. He's a public school teacher paid for by taxpayer dollars at Intercom High School in Sacramento, California. Geit, who teaches advanced placement government classes, is not shy about his involvement in Antifa's local chapter. He even has an Antifa flag and a poster of Mao Zedong in his classroom.
What he likes to do is take students who are very impressionable during their junior and senior year and then eventually unleash them on the world, you, and the university system.
Yeah, because a lot of senior parents at this point have backed off, right? So they're just kind of like, well, you can fend for yourself. There is a reason why Generation Z, these kids, are becoming further and further left.
So he was caught on hidden camera thanks to Project Veritas. He admits to being a member of Antifa, and he admits his goal is to turn your children into radicals.
No, I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
And then so like and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. So that encourages them to do it. And I've had like students show up for like protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit.
Now, up until recently, anyone who warned you of this deep, dark, dastardly plan was probably laughed at. You probably thought of him as your crazy uncle and said, avoid him during Thanksgiving. He's out there.
I probably as far left as you can go. So like
the trusted weirdo with the same haircut as me, Rachel Maddow, told you that that's not a thing. And mainstream media told you, shut up. But now you have to face reality because the teacher admitted he is not alone in his efforts.
I know other people in my department who teach like 10th graders who've had like parent meetings, like a student who complained about like a pride flag and said that they felt uncomfortable. I've had students, during anonymous surveys at the end of the year, comment about the things that I have in my classroom. Like I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that.
Are there a lot of teachers like you, man?
I think there are more than there used to be. And I think that there's 3 other teachers in my department that I did my credential program with, and they're rad. They're great people, and they're definitely like on the same page.
He offers students who really want to work hard and succeed extra credit for attending rallies that go against American values. He then has them bring back what they did, how they got involved, and have them write essays about their experience in order to receive better grades. And these are the formidable years for students, which is when the radical BLT movement, BLM movement, Antifa movement, and otherwise uncomfortable characters try to take your kids and program them in their own likeness. And if you think this is the only guy doing it, or that it gets better once your kid gets to college, you are an idiot.
Well, America is plagued by the specter of fascist violence, and in an ironic twist, these fascists call themselves anti-fascist, Antifa. Whenever conservatives want to speak on campus or hold a rally, Antifa groups are a reliable presence, and they routinely try to stamp out speech using vigilante violence, which they perversely justify as a form of self-defense. Mike Isaacson is a professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. He founded the Antifa group Smash Racism DC, and he joins us tonight. Professor, thanks for coming on.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
You shut people down, you prevent them from speaking, and you commit violence against them.
Absolutely.
I know a number of people, well, don't tell me it's untrue, I know people who have been knocked down and beaten by people from Antifa. So that is true, it does happen, we have it on tape, we just roll the tape.
Right.
So you're saying, is that justified?
Yes. I believe that communities have the right to defend themselves against threats to their community.
Against ideas they don't like.
Now, this type of Antifa activist is the exact same group that Joe Biden pretends doesn't exist.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you gotta be
not
kidding.
malicious.
The reality is Antifa almost always does their thuggery in favor of the Democratic Party. This is because, while Antifa doesn't really like the Democrats either, they know the fact. And the fact is that the right will put their boot in their ass. But the Democrats are more like a really stupid substitute teacher with the big thick glasses that doesn't know you're not supposed to shoot spitballs and throw things at each other. They have no control of their class. So Antifa prefers the Democrats, and the Democrats gladly look the other way when Antifa does their misdeeds.
Like I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that, and he said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to.
Basically, with the Democrats at the wheel, Antifa can get away with murder. And they have. So these horrible, hateful leftists kind of cobbled together a little union. Now, good people, fellow citizens, boots on the ground started noticing what Antifa was doing, harassing people walking to a Trump rally, poking an old granny with a stick, throwing eggs at women, and these people became a reactionary force against Antifa. Can you name the group that will gladly fight Antifa? Go. If you named the Proud Boys, you got it right. The Proud Boys are merely a group that formed as a reaction to Antifa's fascist terrorism. These are athletic guys, these are Latino and black and Asian and some white guys who don't mind getting into a fight, and they usually beat the crap out of Antifa. Like when a little 140-pound guy with like a nose ring that daisy chains to his nipple comes out of the bushes to poke a lady with a stick. Proud Boys say, "Here we go," and put that kid in the hospital where he belongs.
Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So like, yeah, when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Now, we all know the Proud Boys are black, Asian, Latino, and we all know Joe Biden hates the Proud Boys because these are my foot soldiers you're beating up. Hey! So what has Joe Biden done to try to discredit the Proud Boys and make them go away so Antifa has a clean slate? Joe Biden has labeled these black, Asian, and Latino Proud Boys white supremacists because that's what he labels everything he doesn't like. Watch.
And we won't ignore what our intelligence agencies have determined to be the most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today. White supremacy is terrorism. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism that we must confront and we will defeat.
I bet Joe Biden labels his broccoli white supremacist. But his pudding, not white supremacist. And that's the Democrat way. Call anything you don't like white supremacist, and calling everything you don't like white supremacist is the leftist way to demonize white people in their never-ending race-hustling efforts. Are you getting it now? Let's watch some more of the Antifa that doesn't exist guy.
Is there a local Antifa or chapter?
Yes, yeah. The Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? And like we have no official like member list, right? So like, yeah, when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So and Sacramento, as a city itself is incredibly diverse, but we're surrounded by a bunch of right-wing rednecks. And then the other really big organization in our area that, if you're looking to get involved, is NorCal Resist. NorCal Resist does direct outreach for like undocumented folks. They help them with like material support as well as legal aid and support with the help of the National Lawyers Guild. So they work in tandem with each other. So that's why I do like political efficacy events, because I want to get them out in the community. I want to get them familiar with organizations that are doing work, what type of work they're doing, how they can be involved, where their passion is, and what they can contribute. Because it's like every single one of us can do something. I'm not asking you to all be on the front lines, but I am asking you to be involved. And it is so much more than just sharing a tweet or posting on Instagram.
Gipe seems eager to get his students actively participating at radical, activist political events. But he takes it one step further by motivating them through extra credit in exchange for their attendance.
So for youth that, like, so let's say my son is pretty he just is. That do, he's 17. who want to get plugged in though to actually doing stuff in the community, to activism, where would he go to connect to some of these organizations? Like people that are interested, or their flyers or something?
No, I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
for the organizations that you mentioned, so they can get connected. That's dope, man.
And then so like and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. Like so that encourages them to do it. It's like, because I can't just like, hey, here's some things going. They'll never go. Right.
You can see he has an Antifa flag as well as a poster of Mao Zedong, the Chinese dictator who is one of the most notoriously brutal leaders in history, responsible for the death of millions.
Now, trust, this is happening all over the USA, but isn't it odd this was caught in Northern California, where Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi do their deeds? All this hateful activism always come from leftists who conveniently hide behind a rainbow banner of tolerance. Antifa and BLM do the dirty work that Democrats need them to do, but there's enough plausible deniability to then say, I don't know them, they don't even exist. And they get that deniability from the highest office in the land.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
So they're going to keep going. Democrats are their friend. At the same time, Democrats will spare no opportunity to throw the book at the Proud Boys to clear them off the chessboard. Do you need more proof that Antifa and Biden are in cahoots? Then just type in antifa.com on your browser. Now, it used to go to Biden's campaign to help him raise money, but now, conveniently, it goes to the White House. If you don't believe me, take a moment, try it now, and leave a comment if it worked. Everybody knows you can point any URL to any website, but why does Antifa.com always point to wherever Biden is to only help him out? And if Biden can throw people into prison that just did a January 6th peaceful protest, why can't he figure out who the dastardly person is who keeps tricking Antifa.com to go to his website and shut that down too? The reason is because he doesn't mind this website direct. Did you go to Antifa.com? Did you see Build Back Better? The only thing Biden has built back better is the Taliban, as he likes to call it.
So far, the Taliban.
The Taliban, who can take all our missiles and all our tanks. The Taliban Khan, who can take our uniforms and kill our allies. The Taliban Khan. Hey, the Taliban Khan.
Taliban.
It's time you wake up and realize that the terrorists are not just around the world, they're inside our country, teaching our kids. Terrorists love teachers like this because they bring up your youth to hate the nation and they do the dirty work for them.
We caught up with Geip to ask for comment.
Gabriel, hello, how are you?
I'm good.
I am a journalist with Project Veritas.
I don't feel comfortable with this.
Well, I think that there's been a lot of uncomfortability in your classroom. And you mentioned to one of our colleagues that you have 180 days to turn students into revolutionaries. A student voiced their uncomfortability in your classroom with the Antifa flag. Do you recall that? You tacitly implied they might be aligned with fascists. I mean, is this the kind of behavior in line with the mission statement of your high school?
That you're harassing.
Sir, I'm not harassing you.
I'm asking you to leave me alone.
I'm trying to get comments. You're a public school teacher.
I understand that, but
You're a public school teacher.
Harassing me.
And you're teaching things outside the curriculum of your school. I have some footage that I need to show a member of the school district here.
Taliban.
You guys can't be in here recording. You need to leave, please.
Okay, we're trying to show you a video.
I want you to leave or I'm going to call the police.
Taliban.
So thank you, O'Keefe and Project Veritas, for doing the difficult task of getting this guy to say the quiet part out loud, exposing what the radical left has been doing and what only your crazy uncle has been trying to warn you about, and you've been ignoring him at Thanksgiving. Maybe your crazy uncle isn't so crazy after all. So now you know. I hope you'll be more aware, keep an eye out, fight against Antifa, and stand up against the mental illness known as leftism. And please get to know your enemy. They're not in a far-off land anymore or in another city. They're right outside your door.
Taliban.
If you like that video, I have 700 more. Most of them are comedy clips, but every now and then I spit truth and make leftists cry. If you really want to support me, come to a live tour date. Those can be found on my website, and I'm coming to a city near you. If you don't see a city near you, then consider putting on your own private comedy night and invite me, your favorite half Persian. You can also make a one-time donation, since this is what I do for a living now, and YouTube and Facebook are suppressing my views to make sure they don't get out there too far. You can do that on GoFundMe.com, PayPal.me/TanxGod, Venmo, Cashapp, and finally the easiest way for my homies on a budget, like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you next time, and just say no to Antifa.
So, it's like my wife and I have been political organizers. I've been organizing since I was 13.
Wow.
And I've been in a ton of different organizations, and I've been on the front lines, and I've taken a step back and gone back and forth, and my wife is the same way.
Guy believes it's okay to enforce his radical political agenda on his students. This tip came to us from someone on the inside of Guy's school and was corroborated by a Project Veritas undercover journalist. If you're on the inside of one of these educational institutions, contact us and send us a tip at veritastips@protonmail.com.